the story of the day, the topic du jour is who the heck starts in goal for the Ottawa Senators. Now, Sportsnet was completely in one the entirety of last night's broadcast. They showed the two goalies saying that they have the least amount of experience of any two goalies in the league by about 100 games. But they decided to use a photo of Philip Gustafsson instead of Kevin Mandolese. Absolute disrespect. They called him an emergency backup in the first period.
That's so brutal. I mean, the least amount of experience should go to the graphic and producer of that squad. Like, come on, don't do my guy Mando like that.
That's tough. I mean, not only is he tall, dark, and handsome, but he also has one of the best setups in the NHL right now with those Bauer reactor throwback ones. Are you hoping that Mando gets his first NHL game tonight on the road in New York?
Well, Ross, unlike you, I want to support a friend of the show, Mando. I know every time this discussion has been brought up, you said they cannot start Mando. I don't want to see Mando live out his dream and start an NHL game. I don't know what he ever did to you, but me personally, I want to see Mando have success. I want to support someone that's been on the show, a great guest. We've had great interviews with him. So here's the thing. The Ottawa Senators are down to their third and fourth goalies, not emergency backup. Mando is not an emergency backup. But if you look at their schedule for February, Ross, after our night at the GLEBE Central Pub and Chris Neal retirement game, it's all back-to-backs. You're looking at back-to-back 19th, 20th, back-to-back 24th, 25th, and then back-to-back 27th, 28th. So the last thing I want is to put a goalie who only has 3 NHL games to his name, who also has had injury problems this season. I'm talking about Mads Søgaard. I don't want to put him in a situation where he feels pressured and put into a spot where he's not ready for. And I don't think that's him for people that are like, oh, he needs to want to battle for the net, like we talked about with last year with Murray. Like, this guy doesn't want the net. He needs to force them to play him. I don't think it's fair to have that expectation for Mads Søgaard when this is a position he was not really thinking he was going to be in this season. He thought he was going to be the starter in Belleville, and now you obviously want opportunities to show yourself, but in back-to-back nights as goalie, especially someone that's not used to the NHL, and you're traveling on those nights, I just feel like you're putting in Mads Søgaard in a tough spot to succeed here. So for that reason, I want to see Kevin Mandolese start. I don't want to see injuries, and I don't want to see Mads Søgaard put in a tough spot.
I think those are all fair points, except what you started with. You know I love Mando. Don't do me dirty like that. Mando's my guy.
Fact or fiction, each time we've had this discussion, you've been on the side. Don't play Mando.
Well, maybe. I mean, the other one was Forsberg playing back-to-back. And this team, need points. And I'm not saying Mando can't do the job, but I don't know. I would almost prefer him to start Friday. I know that it's not a back-to-back, but they're playing Chicago. I just want to put him in a position to succeed. Whereas Mads, he just came off a win. I'm hoping that the adrenaline just stays high. He has to be feeling good. He's got the goggles right now, for crying out loud. This guy's got to be in a good spot. He played lights out. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Get Mads back in there. Let's go. He's 6'7", and not only that, and I know, like, big goalie, covers a lot of net. You're playing against a team that takes a lot of their shots from the outside, and sure, Bo Horvat might change that dynamic a little bit, but I think that it's not the toughest team. Like, it's not like you're playing a team that relies on run and gun, and they're going to have a bunch of odd man rushes. They're a very controlled, dump and chase, grind it down low type team. I don't think it's like the hardest working game for a goalie playing against the Islanders. And maybe that's me kind of discrediting the speed that they do have up front. And Horvat obviously adds a different element to that top line. Barzal on the wing, I'm interested to see that tonight. But 34 saves yesterday, and I think that I just roll with the winner. You win and you're in. Let's go with that is why I'm going with Mads Søgaard tonight. I think the confidence is rising in his game. He said yesterday after the game that he's done his preparation the exact same way for the last 6 years. And I mentioned that when I went to see them in Manitoba. This guy's on the bench like an hour and a half before the game, just visualizing everything. So I think he's locked in. I think he wants to play. And if he does, then put him in. Now, we went and we did some crack research on his stats in the second half of back-to-back games this season, and a couple of them, he didn't even start. So it's a little bit different. Praise Alfie, sent it at 11-11. Just notice that. But you're looking at a guy who, in 4 of the 5 starts, he's had an 8 or games, not starts. He's had an 885 save percentage or lower. The 1 goal against on 15 shots, they were already getting pumped in that game. The reason why he went in the first place, I don't know. I'm torn. Like, I could understand both, but as an organization, as DJ said, they have to make a decision. And I just go with the guy. If he's the goalie of your future, let's see him step up here and be given a bit of leash to go out there and, hey, you did a good job yesterday. Let's see you do it again tonight. I do want Mando to play. And frankly, Cam Talbot's not even back at practice. Mando will get his first NHL game. I'm confident in saying that. But for me, it's not tonight.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I mean, I'm surprised you haven't used this to your argument, Ross. But last time we had this debate, Forsberg played back-to-back games, and ho-hum had a shutout in the second game there. So that would have been definitely something to prop your argument up here. But the thing is, it's not that I'm not confident in Mads Søgaard, is I just don't want to pressure too much. That's a lot of pressure for a young goalie, especially in a game that the Ottawa Senators know what's going on. Everyone knows how big this game is. So it's a lot to put on the kid. And if he gets hurt, now we're looking at a duo of Mando and Antoine Bibeau. And there's multiple back-to-backs, like I just mentioned. And Cam Talbot might not be back for, it's probably another 10 days, right? So, I don't know. I just think all you have to do is not get a goalie injured in tonight's game. And I think that's pretty well setting yourself up for the next couple of games here. I know, obviously, you want the win, and it's a big game, but if Søgaard goes down, then this team, like, it is just wild what this team will have to deal with. So that's my concern. Maybe I'm being too conservative on this, and that's fair, but that's just how I feel about it.
But a lot of what you just said would apply to Mando too. Like, that's a lot of pressure for Mando going into a visiting barn.
Certainly it's a lot of pressure, but I mean, either way you slice it, these kids are being asked a lot of them in positions that they were not supposed to be in. I mean, this is the Ottawa Senators story with goalies. It's insane how they haven't been able to have, like, cut and dry, just basic, all right, your number 1 goalie is going to be your number 1, number 2 is number 2, and then same in Belleville. Like, they have not been able to have that consistency and stability in the crease, unfortunately, due to injuries.
Hey, if any Sportsnet producers are watching, that's Kevin Mandolese.
Yeah, geez. He looks good.
Doesn't he look sharp, eh?
And Ross, look good, play good. That's the old saying.
I love that Mando and Søgaard, we know that they're, like, really, like, best friends, basically. I think they have each other's dogs on their helmet, don't they?
I think one has one dog, and we tried to convince Mando to get Mad's dog or something like that. But yes, yeah, they're definitely good buddies.
No, because Mando has a Great Dane.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hilarious. But great to see. Like, I'm sure Mando was being a great supporter of Mads yesterday, and I'm sure it helped him out, being a guy that they can obviously bounce ideas off each other and all that. Just comfort, right?
How awesome would that be as a hashtag goalie friendly show? A goalie to goalie goggle handoff. And Mads is like, hey, Eric Branson, I know you scored 3 goals tonight, but I gotta keep it in the crease. This goes out to my guy, Kevin Mandolese.
Is that your lock of the night?